Welcome back to the Football Terrace. 2-2 at the Amex Stadium. Liverpool leading 2-1 going late into this game, and some horrific defending from Andy Robertson at the back. No idea why he pulls his leg away. A poor cross, if truth be told. One of those crosses that you would say, come on, mate, beat your first man. That's how bad a cross it was, but he lets it go. Liverpool sleeping. Dunk grabs that last-minute equalizer, but there is some more controversy surrounding this game. Were Liverpool robbed again? They were given a rightful penalty for a shirt pull on Szoboszlai, but was that denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity? Should that have seen a straight red card, which would have changed the dynamics of the game as we know? Have Liverpool been hard done by again, in terms of a big refereeing decision? I want to get your views. I want to understand what you think, what you feel in relation to this right now. Please hit the like buttons as well. But it is 2 games on the bounce now that Liverpool have failed to win. They're still in a good position in the league. You can see them. They're sitting on 17 points in 3rd place. And look, only 3 points off of the top. But the last 2 weeks are going to have hurt them. With how they started against Liverpool, leading 2-1 in this game, they might be sitting there thinking they should be anywhere between 3 to 5 points better off than they currently sit right now, Liverpool. And I think we've seen some of the flaws in recent games of, what can happen to Liverpool. Still today leaking too many opportunities. Pedro should have won the game at the end for them. And how much do they owe to Mo Salah? How much do Liverpool owe to Mo Salah? This man, I've been telling Liverpool fans for 2 years now, your greatest ever Premier League player. In my opinion, one of your club's greatest ever individuals. In the running for Premier League GOAT conversations, if he continues at this level for years to come, if he wins a few more trophies, the man is absolutely impeccable. And again, he didn't have his greatest game today. And I think a lot of that, who's creating the chances for him? The midfield, I thought, for Liverpool was fairly non-existent. They weren't really creating the opportunities. But when he did have the chance to deliver for Liverpool, the man does it again. And he delivers in absolute spades. Absolute spades he does. But look, I thought overall, 2-2 on the balance of play was a fair result. I personally thought that Liverpool were hard done by, though. Maybe Liverpool fans don't agree, and that's fine. Maybe you watching don't agree. I actually now, for the life of me, can't remember who gave the penalty away, which Brighton player it was. I'm just going to go and search for that now. But I can't understand why a red card wasn't given. Genuinely, I don't understand why it wasn't a red card. He's pulled the shirt. Szoboszlai is going to get to the ball. He's going to have a shot on he. He's going to have a shot on goal. Maybe because he hasn't touched the ball yet and he's not actually in control of it. You could argue doesn't have full control of the ball, therefore it's not a clear goal-scoring opportunity. But if a player is running through one-on-one and hasn't touched the ball yet and he gets dragged down, that happened recently with Man United versus Nottingham Forest. A red card was given. So not touching the ball can't be a factor in this as far as I'm concerned. So I do feel that Liverpool fans have an area to be frustrated about. Doesn't mean they can't criticize elements of their own performance. I thought Brighton dominated too many phases of this game. And I know they're a really good team, Brighton, but Liverpool are better. And I thought Liverpool weren't really at the races today, but they definitely have another case here to push, to demand an explanation from VAR, just to know why it wasn't. And this is where fans need to know why that wasn't a red card. Because for me, there was no clear attempt to try. I know that if you try and slide to win the ball or you attempt a real tackle, you can only be booked if a penalty is given in the box, even if you deny a clear goal scoring opportunity. But there was no attempt there to win the ball. We have a super chat here, actually, that says it was a red card for Brighton, but happy with the start to the season. But another ref disaster class is what Sean Casey says here. A victim FC will be full of excuses again, is what Ables has got to say to us. Look, I think Liverpool have got a right to be aggrieved about that decision, but they also need to be fair and criticise elements of their performance. I would agree with what Sean just said, though. It's been a good start to the season for Liverpool. And they're currently sitting exactly where I think they're going to finish this campaign, third. I haven't seen enough from them to think they can beat City to the title yet this season. And mainly that's the abundance of chances they concede still. They went through a 2 or 3 game period where they weren't doing it. Kind of crept back in a little bit in the last few days. But that's why they always say you shouldn't even take the league table seriously for 10 to 12 games until you've played the vast majority of your opponents and a mixture of quality. But very good start to the season. Small question. Gross should have been sent off for a red card. Well, was it Gross? Right. Okay, there we go. Pascal Gross. Yeah, he should have been sent off, Omar. 100%. I've already said that on the stream. 110% as far as I'm concerned. That has to happen. Terry must have missed Van Dijk's handball. It wasn't a handball. It was hit him at close proximity, exceedingly fast speed of the ball, and it hit his thigh and bounced up onto his arm. That is not a handball. You could also argue, and I don't know whether this is within the law, but the ball was going to fly out for a throw, and it was an awful shot, wasn't on target, wasn't going to go to anybody. 110%, George, not a penalty. And I would love to rub it in and stick it to Liverpool fans, but yeah, 100% not a penalty in any way, any shape, or any form. In terms of Liverpool, though, we are mentioning their performance as well today. Look, some things to be encouraged about. Mo Salah, I've already mentioned. Still at the back, though, there's problems with this club. Van Dijk, again, poor passing out from the back. Some people might blame McAllister for losing the ball, but I just thought that was a really... Considering McAllister's got his back to the play, he's facing his own goal, that's on the captain. That's on Van Dijk, who... I assume he's your captain. He might not be, but anyway, captain material. I assume he's meant to... he can read that situation. He can see 3 players around McAllister. You don't play... I don't think you play a ball to him there anyway. You definitely don't do it at the speed of which he did. It was such a weak, lukewarm pass. He sold McAllister short, and that really kind of set the tone. And look, both of Liverpool's goals came from mistakes as well, from playing out the back, good pressing traps that are being set. You could argue all 4 goals really and truly today came from mistakes. And when you consider the attacking brilliance of both teams, maybe there's something in that. But look, I think there's some things for Liverpool to be disappointed about. I think there's some elements for them to be encouraged about today. I want to hear about the penalty, though, and the non-red card that was given today. Get your views in, get us your opinions in. Please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace as well. Ali here says, today, extremely poor today. Lucky to get a single point is what Ali's got to say. Interesting. CJ says, another apology incoming. I'd like to know what the explanation is. What red card? Are you actually comparing Champions League to the Premier League? Rules are different. Stop capping. This time, ref was fine. Sam was not complaining. Listen, I've got a lot of time and love for Sam, but Sam not complaining is not, there's no consequence to me. My point of view is this. How are you pulling someone down in the box by the back of the neck who is about to get a ball and who is 8 yards out and who is going to turn and swivel and shoot? The fact that he's going to turn, swivel, and shoot from 8 yards out, in my personal opinion, is a clear goal-scoring opportunity. To stop him from getting to the ball by pulling him down, how is it not? Even if a player's on the line, it's still a clear goal-scoring opportunity. So, for me, Nabil, I cannot understand why that's not given. I'm just keeping the same energy, because if Man United concede a penalty like this, I'm asking for a red card. So for me, 110%, it's right. Turn, swivel, and shoot. Evidence, please. Football knowledge. He's running at the ball, sideways on. The goal is to his right. The ball is directly in front of him. He's going to run. What he's going to do, the ball wasn't even moving quickly. It was rolling slowly. He is going to put his right foot out to the right-hand side, funnily enough, and then he's going to swivel around and shoot towards goal. That is what he's going to do. How do I know? Because I played football. It's exactly what he was going to do if he wasn't pulled down. He was going to shoot, in my personal opinion. You may disagree. A draw is fair. We started slow, off the pace, looked scared, and I said this midfield would get tested. Let's regroup after the international break. Yeah, I do think, again, overall, I understand why you say draw is a fair result. And yeah, look, the midfield isn't it. The midfield has worked at times this season. But Liverpool haven't played. Look, they've played. You can't use the Liverpool game as a barometer. Sorry, the Spurs game as a barometer because of how early that red card came. Today was an acid test for it. It really was. I think they are not giving reds if penalties nowadays. Previously a red. Yeah, but if that's in the law, say it. Let us hear what's going on, is what I'd like to hear. Samuel and Stroh are coming on now with me to have their say, to talk about this game. Gents, welcome back to the show. I'm going to go to you first, Stroh. Disappointing result, I would assume. Give me your thoughts on the game in general, mate.
Extremely poor from us for large parts of the game. Look, I don't mind that we were trying to spring traps on him. The first goal, right? I don't mind the pass into McAllister or the idea of the pass into McAllister because there's 3 of them on him. All it has to do is a simple bounce back and Van Dijk can clip it in behind and Diaz is free. The weight of the pass is absolutely shocking and it just leaves McAllister completely exposed. So the first goal's on Van Dijk. Get ourselves back into the game and once again an absolute shit show from fucking VAR and an absolute mess from the referee. In what planet is that not a red card? And then I've seen the excuse already. Oh, Szoboszlai's not in control of the ball. You played football? I've played football. I've watched football for 30 years. It's literally, as the ball from Nunes goes back into Szoboszlai, he's about to tap it in with his left foot into an empty goal. That is a blatant goal-scoring opportunity if I've ever seen one. And it's a stone-cold red card. But once again, for whatever reason, it doesn't get given. But even then, leave that to one side for a minute. What on earth is Andy Robertson doing? He's an international captain. He's got over 200 Premier League appearances. He can even go with his head if he doesn't trust his right foot. But he's a Premier League footballer on God knows how much wages. At what point can you not go with your right foot? How do you not trust yourself there? It's an awful cross to begin with, and it's simple defending. Simple defending. And then we've seen it time and time again in football. Once they start to get momentum, they could have gone on and won the game. And I think if João Pedro actually goes with his laces, he scores. He just made the bad decision at the wrong time to go with the inside of his foot. But I thought Trent did okay at times with Matoma one-on-one, but the balance of the midfield in the first half, Harvey Elliott didn't work. I think when we brought Graven Berch on, we took control in the midfield, and I think that's the midfield we should have started with because when Szoboszlai moved to the right, we looked a hell of a lot better. But honest to God, I'm absolutely raging. I'm so pissed off because it's a blatant red card, and even then, we can still go and win the game if Andy Robertson just decides to not be a coward and just gets rid of the ball with his right foot. The fact he pulls out there leaves everyone behind him exposed because it is that bad it's such a poor free kick. Everyone's expecting him to just clear it. And no one can react in time. It's absolutely shocking from a man that's meant to be the Scotland captain for the man that's up there in terms of his role within Liverpool in terms of the hierarchy with the captaincy. What on earth are you doing? You've just cost your club and you've just cost us 2 points. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah. I agree with that. And just in terms of the law regarding this situation, because people are saying if it's inside the box, it isn't a red card. Well, let's look at the still first of all. There's no way that ball isn't getting to the player. This nonsense that he didn't have control of it. Well, I'll tell you why he didn't have control of it. Because he was pulled back. So, like, deep what you're saying for a moment. Deep what you're saying. Because the player didn't have control of the ball, it can't be a red card. So what you're now telling me is that it's legal in this circumstance to stop a player from getting control by pulling them down, because he would have done. So for me, you can see he's getting to that ball. It isn't moving very quickly. You then look at the law. Denying a goal or an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. So it is an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, but it says where a player commits an offence against an opponent within their own penalty area, which denies an opportunity, an opponent, an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and a ref awards a penalty kick. The offender is cautioned if the offence is an attempt to play the ball or challenge for the ball. In all other circumstances, holding, pulling, pushing, the possibility to play the ball. Sorry, no possibility to play the ball because he's too far away. The offending player must be sent off. So as far as I can see, when you read the letter of the law, when you break this down to its nth degree, it's 100% a red card. And this is exactly the problem I was talking about last Friday. and we'll see what happens from today moving forward. I've been speaking about this for many, many weeks and months. Because of what Liverpool happened last week, no one's on Liverpool's side. But that should 110% be a red card without a shadow of a doubt. It's crazy.
But they're going on like the ball was 5 yards in front of him. Like, it's literally, it's in his path and he can roll it in. And more to the point, it's this whole notion that, oh, he's not in control of the ball. So what happened when Van Dijk got sent off at Newcastle? Because Isak wasn't in control of the ball. Yeah, it's still a red card because it denied a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
Where's the logic? Like, you can't pick and choose arguments. You can't pick and choose can't sit on one side of the fence and not the other. It's got to be consistent all the way through. And this is the problem with VAR, and this is the problem with PGMO, MOL, or whatever the fucking nonsense is. All we ask for as football fans is just consistency. And I don't care if it's a United decision that goes against them. I don't care if it's Liverpool, if it's Chelsea. There has to be consistency. And this is where, and you're never going to see it because you're going to have loads of these absolute idiots with tinted glasses that are just so thingy towards the club that, oh no, I support Manchester United. I can't agree with a Liverpool decision, and vice versa. Everton fans or whoever, rival fans. The only way we are going to get consistency back in this game, and the only way it's ever going to happen, is if we all unite as actual football fans. Because I remember growing up as a kid, I didn't understand football properly. I just loved the game and I loved to play it. We need to come together because it's the only way we're going to get any consistency back in this game. The fact that the Premier League is the most viewed, it's the biggest league in the world, and we have the worst officials is an absolute embarrassment, and it's shocking.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that, mate. Rack, we're talking about the penalty situation at this moment in time. We know it was a pen. The penalty was given. Are you shocked that a red card was not given to Pascal Gross?
I was in a space at halftime, and immediately afterwards, I wasn't really that concerned about it. But when you read the letter of the law as you've just spelled out, it's difficult to come up with any other interpretation because it's pretty clear. I mean, this is why last week, by the letter of the law, Curtis Jones's foul was a red card. I can see it by the letter of the law, but then you take all the other stuff into account, and it makes things a little bit less clear. That the Spurs fan was saying that last week, was saying that it wasn't. It was simple, but it wasn't. This one, by the letter of the law, is. But I don't really know what to say anymore about referees and stuff. I don't like talking about it at the best of times.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Overall, I think we could have done more to win the game, and it's a bit disappointing result. And that's. But undoubtedly, this plays a part.
Well, it does, because when you score the penalty and you're suddenly then in the ascendancy, if they go down to 10 men, they would struggle to. I mean, I felt like for the majority of the second half, they reasserted their dominance they had in the first half. Could they have done that with 10 men? The answer is probably no. So you have to referee games correctly. And I know some people are saying here that it was not obvious he was cautioned, Terry Waffle. But for me, again, you watch the speed of that ball in front of him. There is just no way, in my opinion, he's not getting a shot off. He's going to shoot. He's going to have a shot on goal. So for me, it was clear and obvious. In terms of the overall performance, leaky at the back again, though. Mistake from Van Dijk for your goal. Terrible defending from Robertson for the equaliser. Talk to me about that side of the game for Liverpool, mate.
I haven't been that convinced by our defence all season, to be absolutely honest. This is why I think that it was a bit more than negligent to not bring a proper defensive midfielder, because McAllister's a good player, and he's done well overall. But you can tell we've got a Fabinho-sized hole in that midfield, and that is the first port of call when it comes to stopping opposition attacks. Funny enough, Trent was actually pretty decent in defensively today, and it kind of got worse when Gomez came on to replace him. But yeah, we leave a little bit left to be desired when it comes defensively. Thankfully, we have a very, very strong attack, but the attack won't always get you out of problems, which is why I think it's going to be difficult for us to win the league. But I think we'll be there or thereabouts in terms of challenging for top 2, top 3. But we need to be more defensive, more solid defensive, more solidly defensive, and we're just not there yet.
Yeah, Samuel's here with us as well. Would you agree with what Rack's saying there about the defending, bro?
To be fair, like if I take the defending in isolation, I think for most of the time we defended all right. I think it was moments that we were defending poor. Like Mitoma, where was he for most of the match? Like he wasn't really doing anything. Like Trent defended him quite well, and also on the other side, we were defending quite well. Yes, 100%. We need a CDM, and I've always said that McAllister is a brilliant player, but he's not a CDM. We need to push him to centre mid, and we need to get a CDM in January. And I've always kept that consistent. But like the whole thing, and I said in the group chat that Robertson cost us the game because you see that free kick, and Stroll was right. It was a rubbish free kick. That shouldn't have beaten the first man. That shouldn't have beaten the first man, but it did because Robertson let it go. Why did he let it go? Throw a leg at it. Even if you scored an goal for it, and maybe in his mind he was thinking about last week about Matip, maybe. But if you throw a leg at it, I'm not mad at you for doing that because at least you're trying to defend it, not trying to coward out of it and actually not throw anything at it. That's what got my head hot. The performance in the first half was in attacking wise was poor because we weren't direct enough, and the times that we were direct, we got 2 goals from it. Do you know what I'm saying? We got 2 goals from it. I feel like yes, Brighton had more of the possession. It looked like they controlled more of the game, but I'll say we let them have the ball. But then Gravenberch should have scored, to be fair, and it should have been 3-1. And we should have been comfortable, but we didn't score. They go get a free kick. Robertson does what he does, and we ends the match 2-2.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. I mean, I couldn't believe again Gravenberch not scoring. He's so good. I just, as a United fan, I didn't want you guys to win. I was like, oh no, I slumped in my chair when that ball went across and then it hit the crossbar. It was crazy. There's some super chats here I want to go through. First one says, poor defensive plus Gravenberch, please start over Elliott. Do you guys, is that something you guys want to see now after the international break? He's got his fitness up, Gravenberch, starting over Harvey Elliott in this midfield.
Yeah,
1000%.
Yeah, I think Elliott, for he's shot. One thing I've said about Jones is that even though I didn't rate him from before, he's actually improved to a point where you can argue that he should be our starting centre mid or wherever. With Elliott, he hasn't done that. So it's time for Gravenberch to come in, because I had the argument with somebody else saying that, oh, Gravenberch is not ready. And already, I know he didn't score, but he had an effect on the game when he came in. So...
yeah, I think he's kind of been played. Didn't have much of a pre-season. I kind of understand why, he's not become a mainstay individual as of yet. But yeah, for me, it almost feels like a no-brainer for you guys to get him into that first team. Honesty here says a draw was fair. We started slow off the pace. We look scared. I see this midfield will get tested. Let's regroup after the international break. Thank you, Honesty. I think they are not giving reds if penalties. It's still a red. I don't know why it wasn't given. Again, I said it all in the week, and I saw so many arguments that I just thought were wrong all week from both sides. This is just about transparency. It's what we need. They've changed the rule now so they can stop the game if that mistake happens. But that's not what we want. That's nice to have. We want to hear. Because if you'd have heard what they said, is it a red card? No. And they explain why. Maybe you go, okay, well, that makes sense. But right now, I haven't seen one explanation in the comments that makes sense as to why it wouldn't be given. Question for my Liverpool fans. Why do you guys think Klopp didn't start Ryan Gravenberch today? He looks like a top talent. And is it me, or does he, does Diaz look tired?
Look, I think Gravenberch, I'm sure he's adapted well to the team and stuff, but I can understand why he hasn't been chucked in straight away. I definitely think that left central midfield spot is up for grabs. And what we want is competition for places. So Gravenberch looked decent today when he came in. Some nice touches, some nice turns. I haven't seen that much of him previously, so this is like pretty much the first time that I'm seeing him play, and he looks impressive. Curtis has played very well this season, and Harvey Elliott's playing catch up, I'm afraid. But if we have them all fighting for that position, that's a good thing. And then may the best man win. That's only going to help us.
Yeah.
And Diaz, I mean, he has moments of brilliance, but sometimes I just feel like the link up between him and Robertson on the left-hand side isn't what it always should be. And it seems like he comes into he appears for moments and has good impacts, but then other times he disappears from the game. And I need to see more from him. I need to see more.
I hear you on that. I do. I think that what you said there about the strength in depth midfield is good for you. Terry, he isn't even the last defense goalkeeper. Well, the goalkeeper doesn't count as last man. Secondly, and even more importantly, last man has never been a rule or a law within football ever. It's a bit like net spend. It's a media-made, man-made rule that's never actually existed in football. Almost like a bit of a Spanish custom, if you like. Something that is not real. It's denying a clear goal scorer. You can have a player on the line and someone's about to tap it in and someone pulls him to the ground. You should be sent off because the likelihood of that player blocking that shot on the line is very low. It's a clear goal-scoring opportunity. So, yeah, it doesn't matter the goalie was there. It doesn't even matter if somebody was if somebody might have got to the line in time. He was going to have a shot at a practical open goal. So
it's the illusion that's blinded him.
Yeah. Where were these people when Man United got hurt by VAR? They were defending VAR. Now some people talk about unity and consistency when it hurts their team.
Well, that's blatantly aimed at me.
That's at you. Yeah.
100% aimed at me. And anyone that's on the panel, you can vouch for this, Terry. I don't care what team it is. I just want consistency. Wolves should have had a penalty. United have had God knows how many decisions given against them from VAR, which has cost them, which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. I am the first person to call it out because it's absolute nonsense. And like I've said from the beginning, is if the Premier League is the most lucrative league in the world, it's the most watched, it's the best league in the world, we need to have the best officials. And for whatever reason, we don't. And that is the worst thing about it. There's a reason why our officials don't get picked for big competitions, FIFA, UEFA. There's a reason, because they are too inconsistent, they make too many mistakes, they make too many big mistakes, which unfortunately costs teams. Look at Sheffield United when they were at Aston Villa. That goal that should have been given never was.
But, you know what I'll say though, Stro, is if we ever had a situation where foreign referees came into the Premier League, because there was talk about it a long time ago when Pierluigi Collina retired from Italy, because I think they had an upper limit of like 45 years old, but the Premier League's I think was 50 or so. There was talk about him coming over and refereeing the Prem, and all the English refs were up in arms about not having foreign refs. But if that ever did happen, and then as soon as foreign refs started making a mistake here or there, then you'd get all the other side. As football fans, we're never going to be happy because we're never going to be happy with it.
The xenophobes. And listen, look, I agree with maybe going around the world and looking for the best.
We should, absolutely.
We shouldn't just import a whole nations, because I've seen poor referees all around the world, but you should go out and go, all right, who's the best in Brazil? Who's the best? And in some respects, having some referees that were also from international countries would help sometimes when it comes to language. How much easier would it be for a Portuguese speaking or a multilingual referee to talk? Because we've got so many great international players. It could help in those areas as well. But to your point as well, Nabil, I'll back Stro. I've seen Stro call it out before. And this is what it comes down to, though. You've questioned me. You know I always call these decisions out. Jermaine here says, as a Pool fan, I won't blame Gross not getting a penalty for the draw. We were shit today and had virtually no control. And I get you there. But I used to do that a lot. And it's a learning curve I've gone through where you said, well, you weren't good enough anyway, so let's not focus on one refereeing decision as to why it didn't win you the game. I still believe in that to a degree. But if we only talk about decisions that we feel impacted the game, say Liverpool were brilliant today and then this happened, that shouldn't be the only reason to call it out. You should call this out even if Liverpool win, because that's the only way you're going to get consistent refereeing decisions. So your performance and the result should have no bearing on football fans calling out bad decisions. But in the reality, we know it does. If you lose a game or don't win, you're called bitter. Do you know what I'm saying? If you win the game, most of the time, none of us care because we won the game and we can move on and nobody gives a damn, So listen, I do get where you're coming from, Jermaine, but I think as football fans, we need to stay on this consistently. But look, also, boys, go on, Sam, go on, bro.
I'm going to quickly say, and also that super chat, I don't agree with, because he said we had no control. What chance did Brighton have until they scored a goal from the free kick? Like literally, what chance did they have until they scored? That it was a lot of wasteful possession. To be fair, so for it, yes, we played, and I admit, I've said this, we played rubbish today. However, Brighton didn't do much until after the goal, and then they had that clear chance where I think I forgot the guy's name, João Pedro missed, but even we should have scored ourselves. But yeah.
Mate, I hear you on that completely. Someone here does say, Terry, you just want an agenda. I do have an agenda, and that's better refereeing decisions. I have 100% an agenda, and it's to make refereeing. I want to make refereeing great again. Is what I always get red hats made for a laugh. Make referee. People wouldn't see the joke in it. People would cry. But yeah, like make referees great. Were they ever great? I don't know. Bring back a Ryan Rennie is what I say. Man was a legend. Listen, everybody that's tuned in, thank you. Please hit like buttons. Please make sure you subscribe. We're back live after Arsenal play Manchester City. We'll be live. I'm excited. I'm going to go and watch the game now because as Nabil says, oh, Terry, your team is playing. Stop streaming. Bruv, you're so dead at banter. Please tell me your girlfriend ain't in the room because if she is, she's leaving, G. She's going right up there. More the fact we kept losing the ball, but I hear it is what Jermaine said. I appreciate the super chats. I love all the viewers. Panel, you're amazing as ever. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you all again soon. Peace.